What if I told you that Robert Downey Jr. isn't playing Dr. Doom at all? Wait, what? Just hear me out. Because everything we've seen, from leaks to official statements, all point to one thing. Marvel is playing a much deeper game. One that flips everything we think we know about Doom and Tony Stark on its head. Let's break it down. Months ago, insiders leaked that in Avengers, Doomsday Dr. Doom would appear, looking exactly like Tony Stark. And no, this isn't like that Deadpool and Wolverine joke, where Wade calls Wolverine Steve just for a laugh.
Avengers, flame on! Sorry, what now?
This is different. This is intentional. According to the leak, there's a narrative reason Doom wears Tony's face. And in Marvel's world, visual twists are never just for shock. They mean something. This isn't a cameo or a throwaway gag. It's a breadcrumb, a setup. And once you follow the trail, the truth gets wild. As soon as I heard RDJ was cast as Doom, one comic instantly came to mind. Demon in an armor. Now the cover alone is insane. Doom wearing Iron Man's suit, but the actual plot, even crazier. In it, Doom doesn't just mimic Iron Man, he takes over. Mind, body, everything. He becomes Tony Stark. If Marvel's pulling from that arc, then this isn't Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. It's Doom inside Tony, either metaphorically or literally. Now flash over to Fantastic Four. First steps. Remember the UN scene? Sue Storm stands before a desperate world, begging for unity. Galactus is coming, worlds are collapsing, and yet there's one empty chair, Latveria's seat, Doom's. So why isn't he there? Why would the most powerful leader on Earth skip the biggest emergency in history? Hold on to that thought, we're coming back to it. Then there's the post from RDJ himself. Not long after his casting, he shares a panel from West Coast Avengers issue 35. You probably missed it. Most people did. In that story, a brainwashed kid named Kristoff believes he's Doom and hijacks another identity. It's another tale about mind control, another story about stealing someone's life. That's twice now RDJ has pointed us to Doom stories centered on possession. Coincidence? No chance. And here's another twist. Multiple trusted sources have claimed that this version of Doom isn't scarred at all. Why? Because the face he's wearing, Tony Stark's, is part of the manipulation. It's a psychological trick, a mask, not of metal, but of legacy. And remember when the Russo brothers said only RDJ could play this version of Doom? That they weren't just hyping him up. They were hinting. Because if Doom is weaponizing Stark's image to gain trust, manipulate the Avengers, and maybe even reshape the multiverse, who else could possibly play that better than Robert Downey Jr.? But it gets deeper. After his casting, the Russos revealed something massive. When they pitched Doom to Robert, he wasn't even familiar with the character. He had doubts until they explained this version. A Doom tied into multiversal deception. A villain who wears Tony Stark's face to walk among gods. That's when it clicked. That's when RDJ said, okay, now it makes sense. Now remember that empty seat at the UN again. Why wasn't Doom there? Because he's already left. Let's rewind again to first steps and that mysterious egg experiment. Reed and Sue used it to stop Galactus. But who did they test it with before becoming the Fantastic Four? We're never told. And in the comics, that's not a blank space. That person was Victor Von Doom. He was once Reed's equal, his rival, until everything changed. Doom's obsession began the day he lost his mother to dark magic. He tried to fight literal hell to bring her back. When sorcery failed, he turned to tech. When that failed, he turned to power. He became the king of Latveria, a tyrant, and eventually he died. But not before escaping death the only way he could, by transferring his consciousness into the perfect vessel, a variant of Tony Stark from Earth 838. Why that Tony? Because his Ultron project worked. He saved his world. His bots didn't rebel. He became a symbol of success, a body Doom could weaponize. The face the Avengers would follow without question. Right when RDJ returned, he shared a quote that flew under the radar. New mask, same task. Sounded like a cool line at first, right? But now it's the whole movie in 5 words. New mask, Dr. Doom, same task, save the world, by any means necessary. Marvel didn't bring RDJ back just to keep his face behind a metal helmet. They're saving it for the twist. Let's move on to Franklin Richards, the real reason Doom is here. This kid isn't just Sue and Reed's son. In the comics, he's a reality warping Omega level mutant. He creates universes. Doom doesn't want to just capture Franklin. He wants to take his power. The same cosmic energy Galactus once used. Why? Because Doom has a plan. He wants to revive Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. In some versions of the story, she's alive, but with no memory of who she is. Doom doesn't see her as a threat. He sees her as a tool. Her chaos magic could stabilize the patchwork reality Doom's building, Battleworld, just like she reshaped reality in WandaVision. Doom wants her to help rebuild it again. And if you want to understand how far Doom will go back to Fantastic Four Annual number 20 from 1987. It's all there. Doom kidnaps Franklin, tries to harness his powers. Why? To resurrect his mother. Sound familiar? Now zoom forward. When Franklin resists, Doom escalates, and suddenly the multiverse itself starts collapsing. He blames Earth 616. He tells the mutants, the X-Men, that the Avengers caused this, that Monica Rambeau was sent to trigger an incursion. The X-Men, they believe him, because in their universe everything is falling apart, and Monica's appearance lines up a little too perfectly. That's why we're seeing leaks of full-blown brawls at the X-Mansion. Even Nightcrawler's actor admitted to filming a scene where he fights Reed Richards. Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic is getting decked in the head. It's chaos. But here's the twist. The Avengers are actually there to save Monica and stop Doom. He manipulated both sides. Why? Because while they're fighting each other, Doom is moving in silence, closer to Loki, closer to the Void, closer to the Citadel at the end of time. And he's doing it all behind the ultimate disguise, Tony Stark's face. He never says he's Iron Man. He doesn't have to. He just looks like him, speaks like him. And that's enough to make some heroes hesitate, to question everything, to slow down. And every second they delay, Doom gets stronger. Here's the final thing nobody's talking about. We're getting a post-credit scene in Spider-Man Brand New Day that sets all of this up, because that movie happens right before Avengers Doomsday. With John Bernthal's Punisher confirmed, street-level heroes are about to witness a god-tier threat. So don't be surprised if the final shot of Brand New Day shows a familiar face. Tony Stark. Except it's not Tony, and if you still think this is all just speculation, ask yourself this. Why in the Fantastic Four post-credit scene, when Doom appears maskless and Franklin reaches for his face, does the score title Doom play in the background? Not Dr. Doom, not Victor, just Doom, with a question mark. The composer Alan Silvestri, the genius behind the Avengers theme, the Endgame finale, if even he is leaving us a question mark, then Marvel isn't asking us who is Doom. They're asking, what if Tony Stark never really left?